Before we get into this shocking update, make sure you like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a major South Carolina basketball story. Now buckle up, because this one caught everyone off guard. South Carolina women's basketball found itself at the center of unexpected conversation when news broke that French phenom Alicia Tournebize would not be joining the Gamecocks as soon as many fans anticipated. The announcement of her signing created instant excitement across the college basketball world, especially given South Carolina's status as a national powerhouse under Dawn Staley. A 6'7" forward with international experience, Tournebize represented not just depth, but potential dominance in the paint. Yet, days after the signing became public, the reality set in. She wasn't on campus, and her arrival timeline was suddenly unclear. South Carolina just pulled off one of the most surprising signings in women's college basketball, landing 6'7" French phenom Alicia Tournebize. Gamecock Nation was buzzing, expectations were sky-high, and it felt like a season-shifting move. But then, silence. No arrival. No debut. And now, Dawn Staley herself is admitting the timeline is unclear. What's really causing the delay, and how could this impact South Carolina's championship run? Let's break it all down. Alicia Tournebize is not an ordinary recruit. Born in France and raised in a basketball-rich environment, she is the daughter of Isabelle Fijalkowski, a former WNBA player and one of the most respected figures in European women's basketball. From an early age, Alicia was viewed as a rare talent, combining elite height with surprising agility, coordination, and shooting touch. Her rise through France's youth national teams only reinforced that reputation, particularly during international tournaments where she stood out against her peers not just for her size, but for her skill and confidence. By the time she joined Bourges Basket, one of France's premier professional clubs, Tournebize was already competing against seasoned veterans. While her minutes were limited, the experience exposed her to physical play, high-level tactics, and the mental demands of professional basketball. Those close to her development viewed the move to South Carolina not as a step down, but as a strategic leap into a program known for maximizing elite post players and preparing them for the global stage. When South Carolina officially announced that Tournebize had signed and would enroll for the spring semester, the reaction was immediate. Analysts called it one of the most intriguing mid-season additions in recent women's college basketball history. Fans envisioned her arriving quickly, suiting up, and helping stabilize a frontcourt that had been stretched thin by injuries. The timing seemed perfect, and expectations soared almost overnight. Then came the delay. As the team returned from the holiday break, Tournebize was not present. Dawn Staley, typically precise and measured with her words, offered a refreshingly honest update. She explained that there were still appointments, documentation, and administrative steps that needed to be completed before Tournebize could travel to the United States and enroll. Most notably, Staley admitted that she did not know exactly when her new player would arrive, only expressing hope that it would happen before the start of classes. That admission alone fueled speculation, but the underlying reasons were far more procedural than dramatic. International student-athletes often face layers of bureaucracy, from visa processing and academic clearance to NCAA eligibility reviews, all of which can slow dramatically during the holiday season. In Tournebize's case, those delays were compounded by her professional background, which requires additional verification to ensure compliance with NCAA rules. None of it suggested a change of heart or a breakdown in communication, just the reality of navigating international systems. For South Carolina, the delay created a temporary challenge. The Gamecocks entered conference play with championship aspirations, but also with limited margin for error in the frontcourt. Tournebize's absence meant continued reliance on existing rotations and strategic adjustments from Staley and her staff. Still, there was no sense of panic within the program. Staley emphasized patience, understanding that forcing a rushed arrival could be counterproductive for a young player adjusting to a new country, culture, and style of play. From a basketball standpoint, expectations for Tournebize remain high, but realistic. Evaluators note that while her tools are exceptional, size, length, shooting potential, she is still developing physically and mentally. The SEC is a demanding environment, and adapting to its pace and physicality will take time. South Carolina's development system, however, has a proven track record of transforming raw potential into elite production, making the wait feel more like a calculated pause than a setback. As days pass without a confirmed arrival date, the story has evolved from shock to anticipation. The delay has highlighted how complex international recruiting can be, even for the most established programs. It has also underscored Dawn Staley's transparency and long-term vision, prioritizing player readiness over immediate gratification. When Alicia Tournebize finally steps onto campus, she will arrive not as a rushed solution, but as a carefully integrated piece of South Carolina's present and future. In the end, this is not a story about disappointment, but about process. Alicia Tournebize is signed, committed, and expected to join South Carolina. The delay is real, but so is the belief that once the paperwork clears and the timing aligns, the Gamecocks will welcome a player whose impact could extend far beyond a single season. Until then, the program moves forward, steady and patient, waiting for the moment when promise finally meets opportunity.